Hello agents, and welcome back to another Division video. The next series of videos that I'm going to upload to my YouTube channel are all going to be about PvP and different builds that I've come across playing in the DZ or playing in conflict. I'm going to skip the current obvious build that's floating around, the Negotiator's Dilemma. I have already done a video on that. I'm not going to min-max that build because it's essentially already been confirmed that it's going. Unknown when it will go. We'll guess next title update, but it's pretty toxic, and I'll put a link below if you want to have a look at it and you want to see my previous video. Moving on, this is my FAMAS clutch build. It looks like clutch isn't working, but the game is just scuffed. I have only got four blues, so this build does actually work when you go out into the open world. Same for Berserk here, is showing red. But I'll run through it. First of all, we'll show you the stat page. So I'll get to the talents when we get to the gear, but we've got just around nearly 21k weapon damage, which equates to just over 14.2 PvP weapon damage. We've got max crit chance, which is important because we're running clutch. 42% weapon damage with 55% headshot damage. And that's probably about all we need to be worried about. There's no damage to elites because it's a PvP build. Some small damage to armor from mods, and some small health damage from mods as well. Going back to the gear, so this is the FAMAS. This is the primary weapon that we're going to use with this build. And we're running Sadist and Allegro, and Sadist deals 30% weapon damage to bleeding enemies. That goes hand in hand with our Seeker Mine that we're running. That puts instant bleed on the person, which then obviously essentially gives us the 30% weapon damage. You could run an extended mag here, depending on how you felt, depending on how quick you were putting people down, or if you felt like you needed a few extra bullets, so that's personal preference. We're going to run the Eagle Bearer as the secondary weapon, and that's because of the protected fire talent, so while holstered, gain 10% bonus armor while firing your current weapon. This is up for discussion a little bit. I like this. I think it stacks really nice with protected reload. To give you a total of 20%, but obviously you could run the Merciless if you felt like you was going to get the more damage from the explosive chance, the 5%. I don't feel like PvP fights last long enough to make this worth it. On the D50, as just mentioned, I'm running protected reload, so while equipped, this weapon grants 10% bonus armor while I'm reloading. It stacks with the Eagle Bearer one. You can see that your armor bar goes to 20% when you're using both. The Eagle Bearer buff doesn't instantly go away when you're reloading, so it gives you the 20%. If you was, I would say this is a must for conflict because there's only people in there. But if you're in the DZ, you might think about running in rhythm because you're obviously going to be killing NPCs. So getting your Seeker Mine back a bit quicker. That might be useful in the DZ. Moving on, the mask, we're running the Fenris mask. I've got some hazard protection and I've got some crit chance. You can run health here if you felt like you need to bump your health back. Obviously could get to around 200k health if I put health there. 12% hazard protection isn't all that much, but it was my only option where I could have concussion, a high crit chance roll in one mask. So concussion again is up for discussion. You could perhaps run dialed in instead if you felt like you was getting more usefulness from the extra accuracy from dialed in. With chicken dance being a thing again now from Division 1, concussion, you don't really land that many shots in a PvP fight. So unless you've got super headshot aim, maybe I'm currently thinking about swapping this to dialed in, and we'll give that a try at some point. On for the Wyvern were chest piece. So the set bonus gives us a little bit of critical hit damage, which is great because we're running max crit chance. Big chunk of health, which is what I want. Some crit chance and some crit damage. And then obviously Berserk, which you can see is going to activate because I've got 15 out of 7 reds. In the mod slots, all you want to do here is stack as much assault rifle damage as you possibly can. Moving on to a Healer Guard Jackrabbit holster. Probably the best holster in the game, or one of the best holsters in the games, purely because you could have 4 reds from this. I've opted to go for 3 reds, some crit chance, a big chunk of health, and then 2 assault rifle damage mods. This is where I could do much improvement. I've got a 511 backpack. I would much rather this be a DNH backpack so that I could have the 10% crit damage. But essentially, this was where I could only squeeze in where I wanted it. So the things that I wanted was an offensive mod slot, vital, and a big chunk of health. So on this one you can see I had to put weapon damage on this one. So if I would have had weapon damage, health, crit chance, spark and vital, that would have been amazing with the offensive mod slot. But unfortunately RNG has not blessed me in this department, because spark would be useful because I'm using the Seeker Mine. Damaging enemies with skills or explosives grants 15% extra weapon damage. So you can imagine if I replaced hardened, this would be pretty damn good. So yeah, look out for a good DNH, or you could perhaps go with a Wyvern if you wanted to as well. But yeah, unfortunately I'm left with the 511 for now. I could switch this out, but if you look, it takes quite a lot, like, you know, nearly 50k off my health, and that's too low for me. So that's a coming soon upgrade for me, hopefully. Then we're going to look at the Alps climbing gloves. Nothing special about these, just that you can have a good chunk of assault rifle damage, clutch with an offensive mod. So we're just gone for damage for the gloves. And then our DNH knee pads, some crit chance with composure and an offensive mod slot. Now again, composure's up for discussion. Maybe we don't need that here. If you're running DZ a lot, maybe hard hitting, because essentially during PvP fights you're not really in cover that much. Not with an assault rifle build anyway. So there's the build, guys. I'm going to go over the skills very quickly. So we're running the Seeker Mine. I don't have enough skill power to put any decent mods on it to give myself any extra damage or any extra health to it or anything like that. But we're running the big boy, the Seeker Explosive Mine, and that's purely because it applies bleed status effect on target, unaffected target. So that's going to go, it's going to hit your target, which is then going to make them bleed, which is then going to give you the extra damage from Sadist up here on the gun. So 30% is obviously a massive deal. But as you can see down here, my skill power is only 621. And if I go to mod it, there is yeah, there's pretty much nothing. These are all, you know, thousands. So yeah, not much use. Even if I put the batteries on now, these have been nerfed down to 300 from 1000. I've got three batteries on it, and I can't activate any skills. For the drone, we are going to go with, I've got it on the fixer drone, but essentially I get much more value from the defender drone when I was testing. The fixer drone with no skill power just doesn't give you enough health quick enough to make when you're running a clutch build worth it at all. So I would stick with the defender drone. Unfortunately, again, it's the same kind of situation, I think. Apart from this, because my specialisation, you can have the duration mod in there, which is a nice 80%. And then I've got the skill haste one in there as well. And then, yeah, there's nothing else you can run in this bottom slot. But yeah, so get these two in there. They're a no-brainer, because essentially they are free because of our sharpshooter specialisation. And there we go, that's about it, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you can build this better. Essentially, I know there is some health missing from this. I could have some better rolls in the health. They could perhaps get up to close to 200-ish, 220k. But apart from that, apart from the backpack, I feel like it's a pretty good build. This is the build I've had the most success with in PvP. From all the builds that I'm going to show you, perhaps I should have showed you this one last. This is the one I've had the most success with. Clutch just seems to win overall, even against negotiators builds, when you've got the grenades firing at you. Because of this quite decent size pool of health, Clutch keeps you alive even against that grenade. Not all the time, you know, that build is pretty scuffed. But a big chunk of health will keep you alive. So let me know what you think, guys. Here are the stats again, just very quickly. 14.2k PvP, 60% crit chance, 42% crit hit damage. Obviously that could be 10% higher if we got the DNH backpack, and 55% weapon damage. Let me know what you think, guys. 15.40. Is it any good? Is it rubbish? Could I do anything better than what I'm already doing? Post in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. You can catch me almost every day over on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE, helping people with a raid, running DZ runs with their clans or with players, that people that come and watch the channel. Come and say hi. Let me know what you think over there as well. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks very much, guys. Bye bye.